My sister convinced me to reject promotions, sabotaged my engagement, and isolated me from friends while playing supportive sister. One accidental phone swap revealed 3 years of messages calling me cruel and too easy to expose. She wanted to play games. She messed around and found out I don't lose. I found out my sister had been sabotaging my entire life when I accidentally picked up her phone instead of mine at brunch. Same model, same case, a birthday gift we'd given each other last year because twins think alike, she'd laughed. The notification that changed everything was from someone named Kyle. Did you manage to convince her to turn down the promotion yet? I still can't believe she doesn't know I'm your boyfriend, not your gay bestie LMU. My coffee turned to acid in my stomach. I stood there in her kitchen, holding her phone, while she hummed in the bathroom, touching up her makeup. The same sister who'd held my hand through my depression. The same sister who'd convinced me I wasn't ready for that promotion, that I'd be overwhelmed. The same sister whose gay best friend Kyle had been oddly flirty at her birthday party. I did what anyone would do. I scrolled up. 3 years. 3 years of messages meticulously documenting how she'd been dismantling my life piece by piece. My ex-fiancé James? She'd sent him edited screenshots of fake conversations where I was cheating. The dream job I didn't get last year? She'd called them pretending to be me, withdrawing my application. The friends who slowly stopped calling? She told them I'd been saying horrible things about them behind their backs. But the worst part, the part that made me grip the counter to stay standing, was how she talked about me. She's so cruel, she actually thanked me for talking her out of the promotion. God, watching her cry about James was almost too easy. Mom always loved her more, but who's the successful one now? My beautiful, successful sister. The one everyone said I was lucky to have. The one who'd moved back to town to be closer to family, but really, I could see it now, to have a front row seat to my destruction. 27 years. We'd shared a womb. First days of school. First heartbreaks. She was my maid of honor before the wedding got called off. I'd named her as my emergency contact, my beneficiary, my person. How do you reconcile that with someone who's been feeding on your misery like a parasite? The bathroom door opened. She emerged, perfect as always, her smile bright until she saw me holding her phone. Oh. You grabbed mine by mistake, she reached for it, but something in my face stopped her. Just for a second, her mask slipped. And in that second, I saw it. The calculation. The moment she tried to figure out what I'd seen. Everything okay, Anna? She asked, her voice carefully neutral. I handed her the phone. Yeah. Kyle texted you. She glanced at the screen. I watched her read it, watched her realize what I now knew. And then I watched her make a decision. Anna, I can explain. Don't. I picked up my purse, my real phone, my jacket. Calm. So calm it scared me. Just. Don't. You don't understand. I was trying to protect you. James wasn't good enough. That job would have exposed you. I know you better than anyone. No, I said quietly. You know how to hurt me better than anyone. There's a difference. She followed me to the door, talking faster now. About how Mom had always favored me. How everything came so easy to me. How unfair it was that I was prettier, smarter, more likable. How she just wanted to level the playing field. I stopped at the door and turned back. She was crying now. Beautiful, perfect tears that would have worked on me just yesterday. You know what the saddest part is, Sophia? I never knew we were competing. I just thought we were sisters. I left her there and drove home in silence. No music. No crying. Just the sound of my breathing and the weight of 3 years of stolen life. By the time I pulled into my driveway, I'd made my decision. She wanted to play games? Fine. But she'd been playing checkers while I'd been learning chess. It took me 6 weeks to expose the truth she built her life on. Not her life, that would be too obvious, too cruel, too much like her. No, I exposed the elaborate fiction she'd built around herself. The truth, it turns out, is a much more elegant weapon than lies. First, I started with Kyle. A simple message from an anonymous account. Your girlfriend Sophia has been telling everyone you're gay to keep her sister from being interested in you. Here's proof. Attached were her own messages, the ones where she laughed about the deception. Kyle, it turned out, had real feelings for her. Had been planning to propose. The ring he'd bought stayed in its box. Then came work. Sophia was a marketing director at a firm that prided itself on integrity and family values. They were very interested in the email I forwarded, from her own account, sent to herself years ago as a backup detailing her systematic psychological manipulation of her own sister. Turns out, companies get nervous when employees show such calculated cruelty. They started watching her closer. Found discrepancies. Small lies on her resume. Inflated performance metrics. Taking credit for others' work. But the masterpiece was our parents. I invited them for dinner. Just them and me. Made mom's favorite lasagna. Opened dad's preferred wine. And then, over dessert, I told them everything. Not dramatically. Not vengefully. Just facts, with screenshots, recordings. Yes, I'd started recording our conversations after that day, and evidence. Mom didn't believe it at first. Sophia would never, she loves you. I know, I said. I thought so too. I showed them the message where she'd bragged about sabotaging my engagement. Mom had to excuse herself to throw up. Dad sat there, silent, aging 10 years in 10 minutes. We gave her everything, he whispered. The same love, the same opportunities. You gave me more attention when I was sick as a kid, I said. She never forgot that. They confronted her. I wasn't there, but Mom told me later that Sophia tried to deny it, then justify it, then blame me, then blame them. But faced with evidence, she finally broke down and admitted everything. She'd expected them to understand, to take her side once they knew how unfair life had been to her. Instead, they cut her off. Not financially, they weren't cruel. But emotionally, the daughter they trusted ceased to exist. Family dinners became quieter affairs. Her birthday cards went unsent. The photos of her in their house came down one by one. The beautiful part? I never told anyone else. Not our mutual friends, not our extended family, not social media. I didn't need to. Sophia did it herself, spiraling into paranoid accusations, posting increasingly unhinged rants about betrayal and family loyalty. People started backing away on their own. You don't need to push someone off a cliff when they're already jumping. James reached out 3 months later. He'd heard from a friend of a friend about what had really happened. He wanted to try again. I told him no. Not because I didn't love him, part of me always would. But the person who'd loved him had been murdered by my sister's lies. I was someone else now. Someone who knew that love wasn't enough if you couldn't trust the people closest to you. I changed jobs, got an even better position than the promotion I'd been talked out of. Moved to a new apartment with better light and no memories. Started therapy to untangle the web of self-doubt she'd woven into my brain. Some days were harder than others. Some days I'd catch myself missing her, the sister I'd thought she was, the one who'd never really existed. Sophia texted me 6 months after that brunch. A long message about forgiveness, about moving forward, about how we only had each other. How she changed, gotten help, understood now what she'd done wrong. I read it twice, then deleted it without responding. She texted again a week later. Then a month later. Then on my birthday. Each message more desperate than the last. I never responded. Not out of anger, that had faded to a dull ache. But because I'd learned that some people aren't meant to be in your life, even if they share your DNA, even if you once shared everything. The last I heard, she'd moved across the country. Started over in a place where no one knew her history. Maybe she really did change. Maybe she found peace. Maybe she learned to live without feeding on someone else's pain. Or maybe she just found a new victim. Either way, it wasn't my problem anymore. She taught me that family could be your greatest enemy, that love could be weaponized, that trust was a luxury I couldn't afford to give freely. I taught her what it felt like when someone you expected refuses to be expected, when they simply step out of your game and leave you playing alone. In the end, we both got exactly what we deserved. She got to keep her life but lost her power, and I got to build a new life where she no longer existed. Sometimes the best closure isn't payback, it's peace. Walking away stronger than the person who tried to break you. It's becoming someone who can't be hurt by the same person twice.